And
Yeah, so
welcome, yeah,
I just want to
welcome
let
to
you know before we get started.
He's already
So
started.
both
He has already
KJ and
started.
I.
He's already started. He's already
yeah,
started.
Oh
welcome,
well, we
guys.
are started. Go ahead.
Yep, and welcome to the 60th Open Panel Wednesday stream here on my channel, folks. Tonight we will be talking about Power Rangers Turbo, the, the fifth season, which is also the fifth season to the original Power Rangers series that began with Mighty Morphin season one. Yeah, and it definitely, and as always, it features another changing of the guard as we progress further into the show. It usually started off with a movie that featured Tommy and his crew taking on some old friends of his that were taken under the control of Divatox, who is also the lead villain of this season. Yeah, yeah. And these
So
Rangers, yes.
we did
Go
a
ahead.
deep dive here, just so you know. Like we have some lore to talk about tonight, brother. Like we took out all the stops, and we're ready to talk about this.
Sure.
So, what do you got planned for us tonight, Lieutenant Garantina? When
Oh, we're going to be talking about the entire season of Power Rangers Turbo.
Yeah, it's good to see Tommy in there.
Yeah, yeah. Episode one. Let me bring it up. Yeah. Oh, well, well, I don't know if we're going to be able to find them, but yeah, this episode one that starts off with the with the rain with four of the Rangers from Power Rangers Zero, and with the little kid named Justin taking over for Rocky as the new Blue Ranger, which is kind of ironic too, on how they would get away with having a little kid like Justin becoming a Power Ranger who would then morph into adult size. It was from while inside the suit.
well, it's kind of like if you think about it, it's kind of reminiscent to how in just about all the Super Sentai style shows from Japan, where you did have a kid figure who was a one of the main protagonists of a supergroup, where they would be a kid in one form, and once they hit their superpower or uh, they, for example, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, and whatnot, they went into their Power Ranger form. They were full grown.
Yeah, yep, they were. Yep,
Really,
I
for a lot of people, it was hard to imagine when we used to watch the original Power Rangers that these high school age teenagers would be where they appeared to be 30, 40-year-old adults doing kung fu moves. So it was a pretty good changeover.
yeah, definitely. Changeovers have been going on since season two of Mighty Morphin.
so what I'm seeing here is that uh, like I said, KJ and I, like we did a deep dive here before we came on, so we were sure that we knew what we were talking about. That's why I hit you up in the DMs to make sure we were talking about the right thing. And
Yes.
uh, so this picture here that you're looking at, these are very reminiscent of the Sentai uniforms of the time, and so they went back even this far along into Power Rangers and went back to the original Sentai uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And even, of course, some of the detailing on each of the Power Rangers uniforms is iconic, iconically different from the other and from their predecessors, and they can also be tricky to identify from time to time based on the look. But it's always the usual basic color of every Ranger, but also green, yellow, blue, pink, and red. Red always stands for leadership, nonetheless.
One of the things that you found out if you follow the pictures that are on the bottom, a lot of the Power Rangers when they're in their Ranger form and not just without their helmets on, when they're with their when the helmets are on their heads, most of these images are shared over from the Super Sentai TV series in Japan.
Yep.
And they're not the people that are in the suits. Obviously, are not the people that are playing their helmets off, as you can quite easily see through. Let's say just say the Red Ranger. So when KJ and I were talking, we were talking about a lot of these guys are martial artists and they're dancers, and so they had a really good choreography to be able to perform, the fighting scenes. And so they did, switch out people, which is not uncommon. As a matter of fact, Mandalorian is a very good example of this. Is that John Wayne's son plays the Mandalorian more than Pedro Pascal does, because he has the more intimidating physique when he's in the suit. And I think that that's where they're going with this, is that they decided, we would have these young characters play the Rangers, with the helmets off, but then have the choreographers play them with the helmets on.
Yeah.
So, what do you got for us with episode 1?
Oh, it usually continues where it left off from the movie.
So tell us about the movie. What happened in the movie? Because we basically stuck with the season. That's what I thought you were talking about. And so
Oh,
you
I
mentioned the
haven't
movie.
actually seen the movie, but I did.
Oh, you haven't. I don't think. Did you see the movie there, KJ?
Yeah, I saw the movie crossover. The movie crossover, pretty much the way the television movies between seasons would have went is pretty much if there was a cast change, they would use the movie to facilitate the cast change, particularly with the so they'd use it to top off the previous season, which would have had a different name for the season, and they would have went with the cast change. Plus, also with the televised movies, they were able to go with a different storyline than the Super Sentai typically went, which is one of the things that differentiated Power Rangers from Super Sentai.
Yeah, and here's Diva Talks, the main antagonist of Power Rangers Turbo. Very arrogant and very snotty, and she can be very rude to her own nephew for being so incompetent.
It's got the Skeletor vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite when it comes when it comes down to the underrated villains of the Power Rangers series. Like, you got a lot of villains in the Power Rangers series. Unfortunately, this show didn't get as much love as it could have, but she fits more of your classic villain that you would have seen in a Japanese inspired television show. And the fact of the matter is like, she was underrated. Like, you have people who are like, oh no, a lot of people stick to the original Morphin Power Ranger villains as their favorites, but she's when it comes down to the underrateds, she's great. Plus, she looked good in her costume, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, definitely better than Rita. I'll give you that much.
Yep. No voice actor to cover the voice as well.
So who do we have out here in the chat? We got Emily Kruger. She's saying hail. So
Yep.
Hi, Emily. And she's saying hi to you there, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I've had her for a mod for almost 2 years.
Oh,
since
nice.
James Earl Jones passed away.
Wait, you saying James Earl Jones was one of your mods?
No, James Earl Jones passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
I made her a mod for giving us the heads up about his passing.
oh,
So if you look at my Instagram, you'll see that I actually gave him a shout out as well. He's one of the best voice actors that's ever been. His Darth Vader is, I don't know. So just on a side note here, did any of you guys see the Big Bang Theory where Sheldon met him in a restaurant,
Yeah.
and he wanted to talk
Not
to him
really.
about Star Wars? You didn't see that? Okay, it's a really funny meme because he says so Sheldon comes up to him while he's sitting in a restaurant, and he says, oh, you must be into Star Wars. And Sheldon's like shaking his head, yeah. And he's like, and then all of a sudden he goes, I like Star Wars too. And he's like, would you like to join me? You've seen that, right, KJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I love that meme. I could watch that all day.
This is a better picture right here of her costume. It's not full body, but this is a much better version of her costume that you see right there. The previous picture, you just saw like the upper part. Like she's got like I've seen people cosplay her at Comic Cons.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of, that thing around her neck seems to be underwater related, but also she is inside a space sub.
She kind of puts off that like red and gold. If Evil Lynn was sporting red and gold instead of purples.
Yeah. It is Evil Lynn related with the collar and stuff, but also she had there was also a change within the casting of who plays her in episode 26 and onward of the rest of the season.
So they did a character swap there, is what you're saying?
Well, actually, more of an actress swap.
That's what that's what I was saying. So the original actress name was.
Oh,
let's find out. I will do it for you, my friend. I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
While you're at it, find out why she was swapped out. I'm always interested why you recast a character.
Yeah, good point. Theta. We always gotta go into details on why there's been a change up. Anyway, right now, here are two of our other minions. This one in the back is called Porto, which looks kind of weird and with a weird looking face inside. And on the right, you have Rydar, who looks like a bug with some big hunky shell, or that makes him look like a hunchback, who is voiced by Lex Lang. Yeah.
One of the things I did like about this series is when they used the American actors for the fight sequences when they could. Otherwise, where most of the Power Rangers shows, especially before this, they were pulling from the Super Sentai series from Japan for the action sequences.
Yep, as usual.
What's the lady's name again? The Google is giving me an issue here. Who's the big bad's name again? What's her name?
Divatox. Her name is Divatox.
Divatox.
Yep.
And she is she actually was like one of the diva villains of this of the entire series. Like I said, one of the more beautiful villains when it came down to attractiveness and looks.
Okay, here's the synopsis here. The evil space pirate queen Divatox was uniquely played by two different actresses. The actresses, Hilary Shepard Turner, she played Divatox in the initial film Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, and then Carol Hoyt, she took over the role for the first 25 episodes, like you were saying, of the television series. It looks like that Turner, Hilary Shepard Turner, that was part of the movie, she stepped away due to pregnancy.
So.
Well, that would make a lot of sense. It'd be hard to wear that costume if you're with child.
I get it. Yeah, it makes good sense.
Yeah, I mean, she was filling out that uniform pretty good. I'd imagine they probably wanted to keep the, like a more slimmer build.
Yeah, it's a good point. You don't want to risk putting your own.
Plus, I mean, an evil of bearing child woman probably wasn't, like the best pull for a children's show.
Man, probably not a good look. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, of course not.
I love how the eBay puts this. Never sweat a purchase. I would buy Power Rangers DVDs all day long if I had the space and supply money for that.
Oh,
Absolutely.
You,
She
you
is
know what I want
definitely
is a full Green Ranger costume. I want the full original Green Ranger, you know, Tommy costume. That's with the flute and everything. Like if I were gonna go Power Rangers, that would definitely be mine. The second would be I really, for some reason, I just really like the Black Ranger. When I was a kid, I thought just the black look was really cool. And controversy aside, they happened to cast a person that was of that color. I still thought it was awesome, and actually that guy he was a
Elgar. He looks like a
he
white version of the Green Goblin.
Oh, this guy, yeah. So this guy right here, he actually had one of the better prosthetics too in the series, because previously in the series, when you had the characters with the prosthetics, they didn't have much facial movement. They look like some of the villains with the prosthetics look like very badly done theme park characters, and so like while this rendition of Power Rangers was one of the lesser rated in of the Power Rangers. Like he had like his prosthetic had movement. His prosthetic they had different facial features that they can use for his prosthetic, and it just didn't look like he was just like wiggly nose like some of the early villains that they had.
Yeah,
So what I was gonna say, I know you guys thought I was gonna go controversial there, but I was not going to do that. What I was going to say is that both KJ and I, again, we did a deep dive, and what a lot of these people that were doing the costuming and fighting were also martial artists and gymnasts and things. The Black Ranger was known for he went by Hip Hop Kiddo. He was a break dancer. He was played by Walter Emmanuel Jones in the original show,
yeah,
and
yeah. I
yeah,
heard.
and
Yeah,
and we really like that. That we'll get to it further, but the original Frank Green Ranger was also a MMA fighter, so we'll get to that.
yeah. But also, this season also introduced one of the weirdest villains of all, and what who served Diva Talks, and this one is called Big Burpa. Yeah. If only Theta was here, I would like to hear his take on this villain because he said something about the show kind of being too aggravating for him and everything.
Yeah, he's having a hard time right now. We need to show Theta some love on the side.
We love you, Theta. Come on the panel, bro. We're waiting for you.
Yep. Yep. We're about ready, Theta.
No, he works a regular job, just like a lot of us, and he's going to be coming here pretty soon. He's already said that he was going in, so we'll be seeing him in just a moment.
So
Yeah.
this was one of the characters. This was one of the characters I really wasn't as big of a fan of, but they went very intricate on the costuming. As I said, like in this season, when it came down to the villains itself, they put more work and money into a lot of the villains, where the costumes they looked better. As when you see earlier seasons, while the earlier seasons did get better reviews in the long run, this season had more like better like better costumes. Costumes, I'm surprised you don't see people cosplay as often and when they go to events.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an important thing to think about too, because you really want to be unique when you go to a con, And so myself, I have a Mandalorian suit, and it is custom. I didn't want to do the regular Din Djarin Mandalorian costume, so when I built it, I wanted to be unique. And I think that's a really good idea, that you want to show up and actually ask people who you are, and so they'd have to Google it. That's actually cooler, in my opinion, instead of being like, oh, you're Chun Li, or something that everybody recognizes because there's 5 other Chun Li's.
Yeah, there's always been lots of detail. Yeah, especially when it comes to having each character wear a sash around them, either from the shoulder pads or around the waist. And Big Bertha kind of had plenty. Yeah, you know what the craziest thing about Big Bertha compared to everyone else? She belches a lot. Wow.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I found her as one of the cheesier characters. But Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, in every rendition, the cheesier villains were always remembered.
Yeah, yeah. She
Did
also
you know that KJ was a putty? He played a putty. No, I'm just
No, but
he was an extra though.
I was an extra. I had
Awesome.
4 seconds of screen time in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But I think I told you that, Lieutenant G.
Awesome.
Yeah, 4 seconds of screen time.
You'll
2
always
episodes.
remember that. That's special.
Yep. Yeah. Big Purple was also trying to use Justin as having a bomb planted on his bike on his birthday, when she wanted to, as well as being a distraction to the Rangers while they were chasing her down an alleyway. Wow. And she started belching sometimes. Even when getting hit, she belches. And wow. Man, they really overdid it with this character. Wow. I mean, that could be, yeah.
One of the better built character. Like I said, this season has a lot of the better built villains when it comes down to the costuming and how they use the characters. It was just a disappointment when you watch this season in particular. Like the storylines were not where they should have been, but the costumings were on key. The everything about the season kind of hit to. Kind of hit to a point where you're like, okay, here's something that you want to see from a villain in this style of television series that they didn't get in previous seasons. But once again, a lot of people, by the time Turbo came around, is cast changes, new costumes, new Zords, going from some sort of mechanical automotive from the traditional Zords, so which very much resembled Voltron and several other shows of a similar nature.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of like some of the previous seasons, there was also an episode where the Rangers had to fight evil doppelgangers of themselves called Shadow Rangers, whose helmets are gray compared to the rest of their suits' bodies being matching their color. But it also came down to when they were dealing with a villain who's been training them of their magic.
Oh,
I kind of want to see them come back to the Shadow Rangers again, like when they do another movie, because now that they've started doing the movies, the Shadow Rangers were a good concept, and everybody likes to see those doppelganger fights where you fight your doppelganger. And I think when they when they get to this point in the movie recreations, because you have the movies that's been coming out, not to be confused with the TV movies and the movie based on the TV show, but the newer movies that's been coming out, that came out not too long ago, which was kind of like a reboot altogether. I think that they should definitely bring back the Shadow Rangers. Those were a very good concept.
Yeah. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to copy this and send you a picture of one of the figures there, Lieutenant, into your DMs on X, of one of the figures from the SBD collection of the Power Shadow Ranger Gauss.
Yeah,
So
I've
if
seen
you
the
look in your
show.
DM.
Yeah, I saw that one. But let me check
This
it out.
figure is amazing. He's translucent blue. He has power going around his sword. And yeah, I mean, you were not wrong in saying that these are astronomically, and they even have 100 on their chest.
Yep. Yeah, I saw the show. It was quite fun. It was and it was the first I ever watched as a whole.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool? Yeah.
Yeah, especially with an alien dog playing him, matching his color scheme. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
think
all.
that's a common thing when it comes to villains, and clones, is that you get to see that they a lot of times they make the villains cooler.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And speaking of,
There is a point when you have these classic traditional villains, or you have these classic traditional heroes in media such as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where you need them to be what would appear to be more overpowered than your traditional hero character, in order for them to overcome the adversity that's being brought to in the plot line.
yep. And here's Phantom Ranger, who is also like the Shadow Ranger of this show. You know, counterpart to Doggy Kruger from SBT. Except I didn't even see his identity be revealed to everyone. It remained a complete mystery throughout the whole season.
And I like that. They didn't allow for a lot of mystery in the original series. It was just a villain would show up, they would fight him, and they would win, and there was really no mystery until they started coming out with the Green Ranger. And even that wasn't a mystery. I mean, they let you know exactly who Tommy was right off the bat. I mean, they introduced a new character. I mean, it had to be him. You knew who it was.
Yep. Yeah, Phantom Ranger also uses a red gem on that's attached to his chest to help give him power, and his life force is also bound to it, which we'll go over it later on. First, I'd like to also check out more that occurred before his arrival. Starting with Cliffhanger, this one this one focuses on Power Rangers dealing with an Egyptian monster who came from Egypt that was quite an old acquaintance of Divatox.
Divacox?
Yeah, this this alien pharaoh.
Now, this character was featured in other renditions of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as well. The Alien Pharaoh character.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot the name of this guy. Yeah, but he is a pharaoh and he has his own staff that makes him powerful and stuff. Because because when he showed up, he ended up leaving his staff behind, and it ended up falling into Adam's hands, and he couldn't do much without it. He was weak. Because he was weak without the staff, and so Divatox had to help him retrieve it so that he could help her deal with the Rangers. But before getting it mixed up, he did take orders from Divatox to plant a detonator inside the backstage studio set of the Egyptian play.
So he was his character was summoned by Divatox's request to destroy the Turbo Rangers. She would when she threatened to throw him into a trash heap if he didn't. It was a cheesy storyline, but
Yeah, no more cheesy though than Rita. As a matter of fact, that it sounds exactly like something Rita would do.
Yeah,
Right. So he had these, like if I remember correctly, he had bombs in the shape of little pyramids that he
yeah,
would use.
yeah. Yeah, he sure did, and it worked. Well, even though it failed because of Justin having a device on hand, they were well. I kind of got lost for a moment there, but you get the point. Um,
They got a mask. They got a really cool Shadow Ranger helmet 3D uh, printed cosplay accessory for the Shadow Ranger helmet. It's actually like super cool. Like and you know it's not one of like I love Power Rangers. I do like Mandalorian cosplay, but I almost want to get it. We don't need to like show it or anything. But if anybody out there's listening, there is a Shadow Ranger 3D helmet accessory prop, and it's made out of die casts, and it's got his full like cat visor on it and everything. It's pretty sweet, actually.
yeah,
So another thing about Pharaoh is his staff. Since Pharaoh, he can only read hieroglyphics, and according to the lore, his staff was able to translate all print into hieroglyphics so he can read it, as well as being a magical item for him.
yeah,
Now, if I remember correctly, it was taken from him by the Green Ranger for a while.
yeah, yeah. That too. Yeah. Next up,
Not not being Tommy, it's the new Green Ranger.
Right.
That's what I had to refresh myself. So I had seen the movie. And to be honest, before we started streaming here, I had to do some research because I didn't know there was a series. I just thought that the Turbo was just a movie.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. People can get mixed up a lot on stuff like that. And now, coming to episode 13, Diva Tox and her army intercepted a robot ranger called Blue Centaurian. They There she discovered a message that he was trying to deliver to the Power Rangers, only to have it erased later on when she had a bomb planted inside of him. He even tried to reprogram him into taking on the Power Rangers.
Yeah. So he was considered part of the Intergalactic Police Force, who served as a key ally to the heroes in the Power Rangers Turbo. Um, he was
and
voiced by.
so was the SBD Shadow Ranger. They were both part of the police force.
Right. In this case, though, he was part of this intergalactic police force. He was voiced by David Walsh.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot of people remember David Walsh from some other cartoons and other
Yeah.
voiceover talent work.
Can we get a bigger picture of that? I want to see. I
Oh,
want to see some bigger pictures of him. Let's get like that fourth photo over. Yeah, right there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Can we see that like full screen or something?
I don't know if it can go full screen. The image size says 300.
Yeah, yeah.
Not big
Okay, yeah.
enough.
So this is from the series. It's not from the movie.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I hadn't seen this before.
He's
So, and I like
introduced halfway through the season.
Well, through with in the middle of the first half of the season, to be fair.
And so he is. So give us a little synopsis about what's up with him. Is he down with the team being able to, kind of take things into their own hands, or is he against that? And he's like, trying to regulate them and make sure that he's the only one that gets to dispense justice.
Well, he lets the team take matters into their own hands and only shows up whenever they're in need of help.
Right.
Okay.
But eventually he's captured and he's reprogrammed. So for a minute, he's so when he travels back in time to 1997 to prevent universal catastrophe, which he does over and over again through the series, you see him a couple of other times in some of the other series portions of the series itself as well.
Yeah, he's he's
yeah.
kind of like Omega Ranger's counterpart of this season.
Right. So he's a robot. And so like he's able to be reprogrammed. And I believe that he gets reprogrammed and turned into like a self-destruct bot. And a lot of people in the fandom like to say he's an unofficial Sixth Ranger, some sort of extra hero that typically fights alongside the Phantom Rangers.
Yeah, same with Phantom Ranger.
I'm gonna throw your link in there into the chat there, Garantino, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody is listening, that loves the Power Rangers as much as Lieutenant and KJ and I do, we're gonna throw Lieutenant's link to his YouTube in the chat here. And like and subscribe, because we like to hang out with each other and talk about cool stuff. So give him a like and a follow, and we'll throw our links in there. But for now, if you're following us, we're gonna get going on some more Power Rangers.
So also, just let's take a moment and say hello to Jonathan out there in chat. How you doing, Jonathan?
Yeah, hi there. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah. Let's say hi to Jonathan.
So one of the things about him as well is so he's pretty much not one of the he's not like considered like one of the battlers, even though you do see some battle scenes with him fighting. Mostly he's in kind of like there to kind of assist the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely.
Are you having a power bar there, Lieutenant?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. We were talking about eating dinner right before we came on. Both of us had some good food. Yeah. Nothing like a power up.
Yep. Next up, we come to a Drive to Win. This episode introduces Carlos and Tracy, who eventually. This episode introduces both Carlos and Tracy, who eventually become the new Green and Yellow Rangers.
This, it's the introduction episode. Also, was kind of a filler episode to a certain degree as well.
Really? Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm eating some candy too.
So, with the plot line. Sorry.
Is there a yeah, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just saying it was just a filler episode with the plot line, but with the introduction, you had your first appearances that was brought in as well.
So as I was doing my deep dive on my own, I feel like that. What is the name? Jonathan Frank. He was either in the show or the movie, and he passed on the Green Ranger. Am I wrong? How did that come to be?
Oh, Jason David Frank.
Yeah, Jason David Frank. And you know what? Since we're talking about Jason David Frank, I am going to go ahead and say this because both KJ and I thought that this was really interesting, that he was an actual MMA fighter, a real fighter that fought mixed martial artists, and he quit after 5 fights, but his first 4 fights, he won them with a knockout, and then he submitted his 5th opponent, meaning he died, or excuse me, he's gone, and he left with an undefeated record.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
So Carlos, Carlos was the Green Ranger who was played by
A Latino actor.
a Latino actor named I'm trying to remember what his name was right offhand without going to the wiki. I can't remember right offhand, but uh, he got the role handed to him. Now, if you notice, like the costume difference, actually, his costume when he's not wearing the hat, helmet, and everything, you notice there's a few differences in the costume because with what they were using for him in the costume and the Power Ranger outfit, like his costume when he's wearing just the Power Rangers outfit, it's without the helmet, it's got a sheen to it. But when you see him all dressed up in the costume itself, the costume that they use for the fight sequences, it's not as polyester looking, and that was because the costumes got too hot for the
Yeah.
actual stunt people, so they ended up having to use a different material for the costumes. So you'll notice like a difference in the color on the in the fight sequence costumes.
Yeah, I can tell. And
She's pretty. I like her.
yeah, she almost looks like Kimber. She almost looks like Kimberly.
Almost better. I don't know. A little bit.
Yeah, she
You-
kind of does look like Amy Jo Johnson. And the weird part is she's Filipino instead of Latina. I mean, because of her last name, Cruz.
Yeah, you'd never be able to tell though.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. I like that. I mean, I think that if just like Frank was cast, like as the Green Ranger, the most powerful Ranger, they really chose a really handsome man. And like as far as the yellow and pink Rangers go, slide in some ladies that look really good. Like there's no harm in that.
they do have the Ranger choices for this season. To it was intended to reflect on the old style, but also with the new style. When they chose in to bring in a younger Blue Ranger, they were trying to mimic a anime trope where you have a genius child who takes over as one of the characters, one of the heroes.
yeah. Tommy was the first genius of a Blue Ranger.
Right.
So,
And those two guys, they still stream. They still go to cons. I'm sorry, David Yost says he's not with us anymore. Isn't it? He is or not?
I think he's still with us.
Yeah, I think he is. I'm thinking I keep it mistaken because we just lost so many people that were on board with the original cast.
Yeah.
And so I know that
Yeah.
the Black Ranger, unfortunately, I'm sorry about his name, bro, whatever your name is, and then
Yellow
David
Ranger.
Yost.
Yeah,
They
first
they
Yellow Ranger is who we first lost.
I had
Okay.
these Hot Wheels right there. The Hot Wheels. I had those Hot Wheels.
What's
you-
important about that is that they're still with us and they're still doing cons and they still have love for it, even though they kind of got screwed, by the network. They still have mad love for the characters, and that shows heart right there. That they care about their fans.
Mm-hmm. They sure do. They sure do.
They had a good set of toys for this set as well. The Power Rangers always put out. They had the one thing about their marketing is that Saban did really good. Probably Saban's marketing team did a lot better on marketing than they were able to do on storylines.
Yeah.
Because to this day, like no matter what rendition of the Power Rangers you get, the toys are very iconic. Look at those Zords. They're the car Zords. It was very reminiscent to like the changeover from the Five Lions and Voltron. They tried to pull just about every anime trope that they possibly could with as they move forward from Voltron to Super Sentai to a couple other Japanese movie tropes that you found quite often in the Mighty Morphin Power
Mhm.
Rangers.
Yep. Yeah, the next up comes a parody episode of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids known as Honey, I Shrunk the Rangers.
I don't remember this one.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wait, yes, I do.
I felt bad, and I had to go look it up. Hey, Walter Emmanuel Jones, if you're out there, you are the Black Ranger, and you are still alive. And as a matter of fact, you played in Family Matters, Step by Step, Sabrina the Teenage Wolf, Moesha, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Early Edition, NYPD Blue, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, and The Shield. So you are an official badass. Not only that, but he was in the United States Air Force. There you go, bro.
So, Honey,
out.
I Shrunk the Rangers was a 2-part episode. Okay, I vaguely remember this. Like, I don't remember much of it, but I vaguely remember this scene right here that you're showing right here.
Yeah, it's kind of like the show's version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Of course, it's where but here they get kidnapped by Diva Talks after having them shrunk down to tiny insect size. And they had a hard time escaping, but they managed to get out okay. They even ran into one of her pet fish monsters inside the sub while they were trying to escape.
That's funny. Oh man, I vaguely remember this episode.
Hmm. Yeah, quite a lot of suspense.
Like I said, it was an underrated series. Unfortunately, with what they put out there that season, it had better storylines, but less people. By the time Turbo came about, I think a lot of people were going through some sort of Power Rangers fatigue for a minute. Because they kept on changing things up. A lot of people get very they have their problems with changing up casts on a regular basis.
Yeah, that too.
Are you controlling that, KJ, or is that you, Lieutenant?
Oh,
How big is that picture right there? I want to see him big. I'll have to. Maybe I'll just send you. Yeah, that's not gonna be good.
all right.
I really like that. He really looks like a space cop, right?
Yeah. So like his thing is he's like his robot form is very much similar to like law enforcement / like he's based off of what I was able to research on him. They had him look like he'd be a car and a cop at the same time because they wanted him to have like the stoplights and emergency lights on his chest. They wanted him to have
Okay.
they wanted him to have like kind of like a robotic form with kind of like how like his arms would be something that are attachable and detachable. How it would
I
look.
keep trying to click these pictures, but that's not my screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, yeah.
They should have, like that. In my opinion, after watching, just the movie, I think that he would have been a really important character if they would have thrown him in the movie, just as a cameo. That would have really like went into the series, like it fit with the series really well.
I did cosplay with a few people back when I lived in Southern California, and I knew some people who were they rode crotch rockets and the nice little Asian motorcycles, and they actually had a motorcycle outfits that they cosplayed on with that looked like the Power Ranger outfits, and their helmets actually had the working flashlights on them.
So I'm a crotch rocket aficionado, and shout out to the Lost Boys.
Yeah,
If you're hearing me out there, you know who you are.
yeah. In this episode, the Rangers were not only shrunk down, but they were also gradually turning into insects.
Oh,
Cat had antennas growing out of her helmet right here.
now
Which-
I'm not familiar with how the lore
Yeah.
works on the, but I believe that there's Zord powers and the Power Ranger powers when they get to this, when they use their coin, they get into the suits. Pretty much the suit kind of gives them kind of like the abilities of their surroundings, from what I understand. The reason why they keep on changing up the Zords, the reason why they keep on changing up the abilities of the characters through the seasons.
Mhm. Yep.
Now I could be
So
wrong.
what
on
is the in that picture right there, that one you were just looking at, the where they have the blue around them? What is the blue? It doesn't matter, what is the, when they have the blue power that surrounds them all? What is that? What does that represent? Is that like because they don't have the Gundam suit?
Okay,
you
so
know?
right here, they're being captured right here. See, you can see the villains
Oh,
behind.
okay. I was gonna say, because I didn't recognize that. I was like, is that
They're
a new
being
power?
captured. So
But-
this is like
Okay.
these are kind of like ropes that the villains have, like these in the series. They like there's a kind of like a energy gun that shoots out this rope, and they can use it as a whip to capture them.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's them being captured.
yeah, they're being captured. So like it's they got some cheesy little weapons there, but
Yeah,
There's look at all that stuff. Look, this franchise has gone. I mean, honestly, and so I actually said this on a stream the other night. I was saying that when people were talking about movies that made money, like like 4,000 times their gross, such as Blair Witch Project, and then also I mentioned Power Rangers as a show and their movies, except for the Fox one, that they made a lot of their stuff on a shoestring budget, just like Sentai did, and that's why they stuck around so long, because they can make these movies with just regular costume designers, and it doesn't cost them $500 million to make a movie. It cost them $2 million.
See, that was an issue in the 90s, where in the 90s they weren't paying their actors right, so they were able to
True.
particularly with the sitcoms and the half an hour low budget films that they were putting out on a weekly basis. Saban was able to, he was one of the he was a genius, but his company Saban Entertainment did not pay very well. There was a big old ordeal regarding the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, regarding pay, regarding contract disputes.
That was the big controversy. That was the big one. That's what broke them all apart, which was unfortunate.
It ended up coming out that like extras were getting paid more money per for screen time than the actual actors, when you thought about how much time they had to put into it. When I was an extra, and I was only there for 2 episodes, and I have like 4 seconds of screen time amongst split up amongst 2 episodes, right? And I got $100 a day, whether my scene was shot or not. And when you have what they were doing on the shoestring budget is in the long run, is when you think about the airtime and everything, and the film time, the actors from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were getting paid per capita less than what the extras were getting.
And that's probably a lot of that probably has to do with multiple takes and reshoots between them, because like you were saying, you got paid just for your cameos there, but they probably had to do a lot of acting and just reshoots after reshoots, and then it just becomes not as lucrative, like in the long run.
Well, one of the advantages with this series, particularly with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in a whole, is that they shared their animations for a lot of the stunt work animations with Super Sentai. So it's just recycled stuff, so they can save a lot of money there too. And you can actually see the difference in filming with the when you watch like the action sequences as opposed to the sequences when they're not wearing their helmets, and you can see the difference in film quality as well. Anyhow, sorry, Lieutenant Garantino, what do we got here?
Oh, passing of the torch. Yep.
Yeah. Well, so as far as passing of the torch goes, there was this big controversy about the child, the Blue Ranger, that came into the group, and so can you explain that? What was the catalyst to get him in there? What was he special? What was the deal there?
I think they started with the Pink and the Green Ranger, though.
Well, I think it's because he had just replaced Rocky in the movie that he was given the right to stay on board while the others were being replaced.
Is he just like a child prodigy? That's what I'm asking. Is like, is he was he really good at fighting, or Karate Kid, or I'm
Kind
just
of.
wondering, like what made them go that direction?
All boards, his character was a genius.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So
Yeah.
he picked up where Billy left off.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is where we get the new Pink Ranger, I believe.
And the new Red Ranger named TJ. They were on a field trip when they suddenly discovered Kat and Tommy being attacked by the Piranhatrons out in the wilderness. Yeah, they were also and TJ was brave, willing to do the right thing, even though he was going to become a pro at baseball. And Cassie wanted to be a musician. And at first she was not comfortable with taking on bad guys.
So anybody who's listening out there, Lieutenant, and myself as well, if you wouldn't mind, could you just give us a name and a color for all the Rangers, so we can all follow along?
Oh, sure. Cassie and TJ, who were on a field trip, eventually became the new Pink and Red Rangers, while Carlos and Ashley became the new Green and Yellow Rangers.
Nice. Okay.
Hmm.
And then the Green Ranger, he's an Hispanic guy, correct? Carlos, is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he replaces Adam.
Yeah, he replaced
yep.
Adam.
So he is the same guy.
Not really. Adam
No,
was
he's the
someone who
next
helped-
class. So imagine like, okay, so like,
Well, I'm thinking no, the original one's named Tommy. I'm out of
Yeah.
brain fart. Yeah.
right. So you had Tommy, then you like each class. So like we're talking high school superheroes, right? So the whole concept is like,
Yeah,
you got your high school superheroes, and so with each class, like, so when somebody graduates, they no longer are there to protect the that little town, and everybody allegedly goes off on their own. Some of the original one of the original Power Rangers becomes a villain for a while, they find a way to keep some people in. And they do like you have like this season you have no Zordon. Instead you have a robot, a little robot assistant type of character. You got a lot going on that in this season. This season's a lot different than any of the other Power Rangers seasons, the way it's set up.
yeah, it is.
Is that a thing that's across the board with them passing down the torch to the new class? Because I think that's probably a thing that I was missing. I was trying to figure out as you said there, KJ, about like maybe a reason why they kept doing recasting, and maybe that's how they were explaining it, was that they were passing it on down to the next younger people in the town to protect it.
Partly also in an interview I saw with one of the writers of from Saban, is that they wanted always to have people of young high school age heroes, or at least would appear to be that way for the heroes, in order to keep a young audience, because they were gearing their audience towards a younger generation, the generation who would be watching after school media. And if you remember back in the 90s, for those people who are as old as I am, and you got out of school, one of the things that was on was the Power Rangers, right when you just strolled right into your house. And first thing you did after you got out of school, when you're supposed to be doing your homework, is you turned on the TV and go, oh, Power Rangers, passing of the torch. We're getting another Power Rangers series. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been the case, especially with characters like Spider-Man, where he is often at school.
Yeah, that's
So-
why they never aged Spider-Man up in the comic books, and when they did, they let him get to a certain age of and when he got to be Spider-Man, a man, they're like, okay, well, we made our money off. They made a good majority of their money off of Peter Parker being young. This is the same reason why they kept on replacing the Power Rangers, and it did give the kids a. On top of the moral values it gave the kids a chance to go, these people are like me.
Yeah.
Just regular, we're just kids, like we don't know what we're doing, but we got heart.
Yeah. So like that's the reason why they in behind the scenes, why they kept on recasting the Power Rangers.
And you guys are doing great, like with the likes, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what we're talking about. Go ahead and give Lieutenant a follow, and thanks for following along.
Yep. You heard him loud and clear, folks. Like, share, and subscribe.
Next
episode we come to Ashley, where she was looking to sell some of her some leather jackets she was making, and was approached by a strange woman who turned out to be one of Rita's monsters, who decided to make some coats of her own for people.
Which is cool, I like ladies that make clothes.
So this character right here, I don't remember her. Stitch Witchery. I'm gonna look up that.
Cosplaying is cool, and I had to do some sewing myself, and I'm not a person that sews, but I had to learn how to sew to make some of my costumes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I bet you did too, huh, there, KJ? You probably had to do some alterations yourself there, figure out something.
Oh yeah, I worked mostly with foam, but we had some stitching and sewing involved in the costuming. I designed myself for my stuff. So in the episode Stitch Witchery, all right, the synopsis of this episode is Ashley's jacket becomes Angel's latest fashion trend. Thanks to Diva Talks, they make the wearer of the jacket evil. Blue Centurion and other Rangers put on 5 of the jackets and start causing trouble. And it's up to Ashley to stop them. Meanwhile, Bulk and Skull are back to being humans, but invisible because they need to be invisible to cause mischief in this episode. The plot armor, right? So Ashley's attempt to sew this new jacket design and makes her frustrated. But Casey tries to, throughout the episode, cheer her up. You're a fashion designer. And so Ashley tries to convince her to sell her design through uh, tried to sell her design, I guess, and Detox uses her monsters to cause havoc. Once again, we meet the Piranhatrons, who mass produce the jacket and apply potions to the fabric, which instill anger upon whoever wears it.
Yeah, that too. Keep going.
Cowboy, you at a pool party there, man? I'm looking like I want to dip in. Is that how's that water? Man?
Hey, I got the Power Rangers and partying with me right there. So,
Dude, man, I just want to chill there right now.
So, in this episode, the Rangers out of the way because of evil jackets, Detox sets her sights on the city of Angel Grove and the Angel Grove Museum, where valuable gemstones are being delivered that day. The only one available to stop the looting is Ashley, who manipulates Elgar into locking himself away in a delivery bay. And so they try to steal these jewels that she needs, that pretty much Detox needs in order to fulfill her evil plan. And there's always like some sort of jewel heist involved or some sort of standard heist. Now, is this a fan picture or is this like from the episode?
It's from the episode.
Oh, okay. This looks like a standard fan picture. Like, okay, I'm at a convention in LA, and
Well,
Yeah.
if you looked at that picture, you can see that his plaid is the same as the plaid that's on the left. That's what I was wondering as well.
Yeah, those are the.
So I
those
don't
are the
know, like,
kind of. Yeah, those are what Diva Tux's monster created to drive people crazy.
yeah, those are the copies of the
Oh.
jacket. Those are the
Okay.
copies of the jacket.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now.
So, because she wants to be the Yellow Ranger, the girl who wants to be a Yellow Ranger wants to be a fashion designer, and she makes the jackets. I believe that's the whole thing. But
Yeah,
She looks more like a model to me.
well,
Yeah.
you have to.
she looks like Kimberly. She looks like
She really does.
Amy Jo Johnson's twin right there.
Yeah,
She really does. She
that was
really
a good
does.
casting.
In this episode, also, there's just like every teen series, there's always like a place like the Max or Sharkies or whatever, and in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there's a place where they hang out called the Juice Bar. Well, this is where she's.
It's actually a youth center.
Yeah, and there's also a youth center as well. So Ashley is selling her jackets there that's been tainted by Detox, and long story comes to an end. Disappointment to her, but as her relief, Bulk and Stulk are stealing more than food from the customers, and they're stealing their fun. And unfortunately, this ends when everybody turns visible, and Lieutenant Stone, who is in the series a detective who is in the series secondary character, just pops in to give everybody a hard time and also be kind of like just a minor antagonist towards everybody. He points out the fact that there's some poor doings, but he's happy to see the two villains where everybody was like, oh, everybody, but they seemed to have vanished off the face of the earth right at that point in time. And then they go around, they have the little fight scene, and then the episode's over.
Yeah. Yep. Now, then we come to Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate. This is where these two auto cars show up that don't turn into Zords but are often used as scout vehicles by the Rangers. Yeah. This episode
I'm
also
wondering.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering what those are. It looks like one's maybe a Jeep, and then the other one's probably a Camaro, a new Camaro.
Yeah, kind of like that. Of course the red one also was driving TJ nuts. That he was looking to try to wrestle with it just to get in and drive. Yeah, but of course Justin gets kidnapped in the blue one while TJ had to work with the red one to try to find him.
So these are the Lightning Cruiser. They have multiple vehicles. They have the Lightning Cruiser, they have Storm Blaster, and those are the main two of the cruise vehicles. But the Lightning Cruiser is
The blue one.
oh no, it's the red one. The Lightning Cruiser is the red one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so what it is, let's see if I can find information on it. All
It
right,
looks
so
like a Mustang or a Camaro. That's my guess.
Yeah.
let's see. Lightning Cruiser is capable of driving at great speeds while still maintaining. Okay, it has jet mode. It's able to fly through the air, and it has different configurations. The filming of it had
Almost
two
a
different.
Pontiac. Maybe a Pontiac. Sorry, go ahead.
They had two different cars that they represented it by. One that was made to kind of have a DeLorean kind of look, where the wheels flipped up underneath and it was able to fly like the DeLorean in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull up a picture.
Yeah,
of this
that's
thing.
right. It kind of resembles the DeLorean. And speaking of jet cars,
It's called the Lightning what?
the Lightning Cruiser, I believe.
Because I want to know if I'm
Yeah,
just an
Lightning
idiot.
Cruiser. It's also there's also Pegasus Thunder was as well, which was the blue car that we're seeing there, which was a Jeep modification, also known as the Dragon Cruiser.
Dragon Cruiser.
It's a vintage 1997 Bandai released Lightning Cruiser Pontiac.
Pontiac. There you go. That's what Pontiac.
So it's basically Pontiac's a Trans Am or whatever, but they made it specifically for Power Rangers.
So the Zord cars that they had for Zords, they were go-karts that were modified into looking like high speed cars.
Yeah.
Open cockpit go-karts. But these were actual vehicles where they had, like, you had the Dragon Cruiser and the Lightning Cruiser, and one of the two cars which was also, they also had a second, because they used two cars. One was a Pontiac and one was a fourth generation Chevy Camaro that was confined with meat.
Yep, there's two different. I'm just saying that myself, buddy. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's two different cars. There was the Pontiac, and then there's the Chevy Camaro. You can tell the difference between the two of them. One was the Pontiac in one mode where they used it, and when they were driving around, it was a Chevy Camaro. You could tell the difference because of the front ends, but nobody was able to tell the difference when they were using it in cut footage.
Yeah. That is true.
Excuse me.
Next up, we come to the next episode 22 is a pizza episode.
Pizza party.
Trouble by the Slice. Yeah, Diva Talks in this episode loses her memory after Elgar F's up by getting her hit by a beam, causing her to lose her memory, and then she en- she ends up going to this pizza restaurant and eating people's pizzas.
A good filler episode. If you want to like just a humorous little filler episode, this one's the one to watch.
We that reminds me of us talking last night about Bill and Ted's, where they bring Napoleon to the Piggy Wiggy ice cream shop. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
There, KJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one though is a great filler episode. I think even like there's a scene in it where they use pizzas as a weapon.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And with the help of a monster they created off a pizza box.
Oh my god, dude, that just brought back memories. I've seen this episode before. Okay.
Huh.
I always wondered where that came from.
Yeah, it's a weird, bizarre looking monster.
I could have sworn that would have been like some mascot at a pizza place I went to in California, but that's totally not. It's from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Although you got to admit, if there was a Power Rangers themed pizza place, you'd go
I
there.
know, right?
You know, Chuck E. Cheese's? No, we're going to Power Cheeses.
Yep.
That's funny.
Get us Power Cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Power Cheesa. Oh my god, bro! Like people would love that. See that you could open that in Bend, Oregon here easily.
Yeah. Yeah, the pizza monster tried to eat them but was stopped by Blue Centaurian coming to their rescue and freeing them from the pizza that they were trapped in. And
If I'm trapped in pizza, I'll free myself. Thank you. I'll eat that. I'll eat that and free myself. There's no need to shoot a laser at a pizza.
yeah, but it was done to free the Rangers, though.
You don't want the Rangers to eat themselves fat and not be able to fight the bad guy.
That's true. You got to look good in latex,
Oh,
or what is that called? Spandex.
Yeah,
Same diff.
yeah. Now we come to the episode that introduces Phantom Ranger, where he shows up in the park to scout for. Yeah, where he shows up to stop Elgar and his accomplices from robbing a bank in broad daylight.
was this episode 23?
Yes, that's the one.
If you don't know who Phantom Ranger is, he's a mysterious invisible warrior from Eltar who arrives to aid the Rangers against Divatox. Powered by his glowing chest ruby, as we spoke about earlier, his glowing chest ruby, he supplies the team with the rescue Zords. And this is where we get the new Zords as well.
Yep.
Can we get a big picture of him?
Okay.
Let's see if we can find a good picture of him. I should have put together a photo book for you. Next time, remind me. I'll get a photo book. For
You know, the issue is that there's so much Power Rangers stuff. Is it to to be able to retain it all? Like I'm literally reliving things that I just never even knew I knew. Because I do remember this guy, and I was like, oh, it's like he's like a knight, but he's the Black Ranger, you know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, like you see a lot in this costume. They took a lot of inspiration. You see like Masters of the Universe inspiration with the cross chest plate. You see your standard Power Rangers inspiration, which kind of resembles this like your motorcycle gang outfit with the big old shoulder pads. Kind of has that Mortal Kombat kind of like.
He looks intimidating.
You know, this is actually one of the one of the better looking costumes that you'll see like in just like this form. Like I kind of wish like all the costumes had this kind of detail to it when it came down to any version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
And I'll tell you what, like that's pretty close to kind of, what the Mandalorian looks like, with those big steel pauldrons and the gauntlets. Um, yeah, that's an intimidating look. And, anyway, point being is that, you could see how as these costumes are getting made, the different franchises kind of copy off each other, because this came out in 1997.
Yeah.
which is like 30 years ago.
Right. So you have these this season put a lot of money into things, a lot more money than previous seasons did, and it's kind of hard to believe that with as much money they put into it that they had such a low Rotten Tomato score.
Yes. Rotten Tomatoes are hit and miss, man. I like some of the stuff that they have to say, but for the most part, is that the critic scores? You notice that the critic scores and the audience score, they never ever match. They're always complete opposite. One hates it and one loves it. It's always on the opposite side.
So, Lieutenant Garantino, what's this next episode you got for us? Oh, he's muted. All right.
He'll
be right back.
Yeah. Go ahead,
but no, this season did put a lot of effort into a lot of the costuming. Like I said, the villains had better costuming than in previous versions. We had the storylines were still kind of cheesy, but we are looking at any rendition of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when you're talking about storyline, but they put a lot of money and a lot of effort into the costuming this season around, especially with some of your alternate characters and side characters.
So since we got Lieutenant here, away for a second, I'm going to do a quick look at which movies are from Fox. So I'll figure out which Fox owns Power Rangers movies, and then so what comes up here is Power Rangers Beast Wars, Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers. So this is one. So that's actually what I was going for, is that I figured, since they had a big budget, and I knew that when Fox was involved, they really put their money where their mouth is with this, because kids were loving it. You remember how big that those I think there were 12 to 16-inch Power Rangers, the big ones, figures were. Every kid wanted all those Power Rangers. They were the biggest thing. They were like the Elmo, Tickle Me Elmo of the time, and you couldn't find them anywhere. You remember back then?
Yeah. Toy sales really drive a series, particularly a series like this. You're gonna want to sell more toys. So when you put in a higher production value, like this, Turbo put in a much higher production value than previous renditions of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You back with us? I guess.
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, no, there you go.
We're talking about Fox and how adding more, bigger budgets makes for bigger costumes and makes for better toys.
This series actually had a much better production value than a lot of the past seasons of it. And as I was saying before, I'm just very disappointed with certain aspects of this season in comparison to other seasons. Like they kept the storylines cheesy, but they added to Phantom Ranger. Phantom Ranger had an incredible costume. Some of the villains had some incredible costumes. With Detox, her costume was really good for being generic and cheesy. She has that Victorian look. They spent a little bit of extra money on her costume, even though it was simple.
Yeah. And here we come to episode 25, which is the last appearance of the original actress that played Diva Tox. Here in this episode, she she summons she summons a time monster to help her reset the time so that she can save her device from being destroyed by the Rangers after a failed attempt to freeze the sun. Yeah, of course. It's another episode of time travel.
What's with that pink uniform? What's happening?
Oh, this.
Oh, her pink uniform. Like I said, when the Power Rangers when they're
Like,
not
look,
doing.
I'm just saying, like, look at the pants. Like looks like she's sagging.
Oh, a skirt.
Oh, that's a skirt. Yeah, they
Oh,
always
it's
give the Pink Ranger a skirt.
It just
That-
looks like pants. Though.
yeah, they give the Pink Ranger always has a skirt for some reason, even though a skirt and tights. You know, you got to add a skirt to your super villain. I mean, to your super heroines. You know, that's
Just like, yeah, I'm not even gonna mention Starfleet Academy. Don't get me started with that.
Yeah. Yeah. This. Yeah. Soon as the fight with the monster continues, the Rangers were able to put a stop to its attempts of setting time back and stuff. Because when you mess with time, it tends to mess you back. And when the curiosity from this monster caused it to touch Rita's freeze key, it ended up freezing time. It froze time up as well. And the Rangers, especially the Phantom Ranger, had to deactivate the device to help free everybody. Yeah, it's crazy too. You should never mess with time because if you do, it'll mess you back big time.
what's this episode called? When Time Freezes Over.
Yes, that's correct, Cowboy. Oh,
yeah.
Cowboy Dan. Yeah.
You should have mentioned this episode last night when we were talking about time
So
travel.
I really gotta.
Oh,
I really got to point out that that very second picture, you don't got to show it necessarily, but if you pull it up, you'd notice that they kind of went down quality in some of the previous things that we were talking about, but now in the like reboot or the second half of the season or whatever, they their uniforms are getting better. They like went down in quality and then they went up. And that picture where they start having all yellow breastplates, I pay attention to these uniforms.
With the uniforms, when you you have they had like different versions of the uniforms that they would use for certain scenes. And as I said, you could tell the difference between when they were using sequences from Super Sentai to the regular series, when they were merging back and forth the different animations. Like the difference between Super Sentai and Power Rangers is that the Power Rangers did have their own plot lines to a certain degree, where so they had to reshoot things. So like having you'll notice the difference not only between the cinematics but also the costuming. So they had to recreate some of these characters. And so you'll notice like differences in the costuming. Now this one's a great
that's a cool pick.
Great costume. This is a great costume.
This episode I've seen a long time ago that I do remember watching, which is where the Rangers had their Zord stolen in the end after being overpowered by this guy and his robot called Metallosaurus.
This is episode 26.
Yes.
Can we get a look at Metallosaurus? I want to see this.
Yeah, Metallosaurus is a powerful robot. Yeah.
So Metallosaurus
is that him?
Yes.
Yeah, it brings you back. This is like one of those references to the Godzilla King of Giants days.
And Metallo.
Yeah, and Metallo, and so it's got a lot of those references, and that's one of the things. Like Saban really liked to rip from everything that he possibly could Japanese.
Hey, Lieutenant, we did some research. And I wanted to bring up another thing here that I had written down, that the maker of and the creator, the original mind thought of Power Rangers in the very beginning came out in 1966 by Saban. And do you
Wow.
know how old he was?
No.
22. That means he was born in 1944.
Cool.
So the original Power Rangers person is our grandfather's age.
Amazing.
And it took him 30 years to get almost 30 years to get his concept off the ground to be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, let alone to other renditions as well. So Metallosaurus, I really liked that character when I saw the show because it did bring back those vibes of pretty much Mecha Godzilla, with the way he looks. They took some artistic liberties. They kind of made him look a little bit more frightening to a certain degree when having somebody dressed as a giant dinosaur stomping through a miniature. But if you go over to the Power Rangers fandom website, and if you check that out sometime, boys and girls in chat, you'll see some pretty interesting stuff about Metallosaurus. But a little background about him is that not only is he a dinosaur robot resembling Godzilla, he was used by General Havoc against the Turbo Rangers after the Rangers unsuccessfully used the Turbo Megazords while attempting to destroy the Metallosaurus.
Yeah.
Although it didn't work, and Metallosaurus actually won that battle against the Power Rangers.
Yeah, against their first Megazord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, General Havoc was quite a tough one. Who managed to beat them at first. But then come one last hope. The Rangers. Yeah. One last hope.
At the very last moment.
So that was a to be continued episode, I believe, as well, because
Yeah.
we're introduced in this episode to, I believe, what would be the Rescue Zords.
Yep, Ruskazords. Yeah.
And I think we're introduced to the Rescue Zords at this point in time.
Yeah,
And-
they kind of resemble Constructor. They also kind of resemble. Well, it's
They do resemble like the Cars version of another version of the Cars version of Voltron, but
And
but
kind
you
of. Yeah, they kind of also are kind of like they're almost like the Constructicons, with two of them as construction vehicles.
Right. They were construction vehicles and first responder vehicles. You had a police vehicle, you had an ambulance, you had a fire truck, you had a vehicle that was designed to remove things and move things. And then you had something that kind of looked like United States forestry type of thing. The different vehicles worked in a certain way, and they had each one of the Rescue Zords had their own purpose.
Yeah, they were able to turn into figurine Zords.
Yeah.
Each one.
And in this iteration, kind of gave the Zords a little bit more of a purpose, like other than being their transportation vehicles to turning into the Megazord.
Yeah, that is true.
That was always one of my favorite things, was the Megazords. Without that, you're just driving around in a bunch of cars. I mean, that's cool, I guess, but that seems like a downgrade, does it not?
Well, to a certain degree. So, because so the Red Ranger, he had instead of having
He did,
his,
yeah. He had that cool car. That was a cool car.
So Theodore, who was the Red Ranger, he ended up getting the instead of
Oh,
it went from the race car to a fire truck for the new Zord, and the fire truck was an all-terrain fire truck, had 8 wheels, 4 on each side.
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is definitely an upgrade from just driving cars. I mean, the red car is pretty freaking sweet, but I'd rather have this big tank.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Let's see that other picture. Let's go down. What was that you were looking at there? Just down a little bit. Right there, that one. There, right? Yeah, yeah. What, is that the one?
That's another so it's able to change shape and size. The Zords were able in this iteration, depending on what they needed to do, just like the Power Rangers in their environment, they kind of had like different little powers that they could use for their situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't remember all the stuff that happened. Blue Ranger was the one that got the police car in this in version, and it was called the Siren Blaster Rescue Zord,
Huh.
and
Right.
it pretty much resembled if you see the if you had the toys, because I had the toys for these ones, and it kind of looked like a sports car, like remember Inspector Gadget's car when it transformed into the sports car version of the Inspector Gadget
Yeah.
mobile? It
He
kind
had
of
like
looked
three
like
different
that.
kinds. He had a station wagon one too. It was a station
Yeah,
wagon when he was
but
driving around with his daughter.
but
Uh-huh.
it turned into a sports car, and it had like pretty much it had like this very narrow slit for the front window when with the Zord, with the Rescue Blaster Zord, and steel like all around the cockpit. It just it looked really good, and it's one of those cars that you kind of wish that somebody would recreate it for a car show.
Yep.
I like the
Uh,
look at that picture. Or yeah, go ahead. But I just wanted to say, so you see the back of that pink Ranger right there. How they made it all look leather almost instead of just spandex. That's cool. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because it looks like more Star Wars or some like higher budget instead of just. You can see that it's made out of like leather or something instead. Anyway, go ahead.
in this scene that you're showing, I believe, and by this scene, they're captured, and they need the Phantom Ranger ends up rescuing them.
Actually, it was the fan. Yeah.
Oh, is it the other way
Yeah.
around?
Well, just the Pink Ranger,
Yeah.
and then the Phantom Ranger gets captured and had his red gem taken from him by the bad guys, who wished to use it for their own purpose, and that purpose was for them to use it as part of their battery for the Megazord that they stole from the Rangers. It was called Clash of the Megazords. Here in this episode, they put Divatox's forces put a big battery on this Megazord for them to control, and so TJ had to go in and on his own to to get the gem out of the battery.
So that you said that they could they could control that remotely.
Yes.
That's
She
cool.
also wanted the power for other things. Like, not only could she use the jewel to hack all the Zords, but she could also use the jewel to power her own villainous creations.
Yeah, but she did not get away with pulling off the rest when the Rangers managed to defeat the monster she sent to pilot the thing, and they retrieved the gem because without it, the Phantom Ranger was dying. And it took them almost all day for them to get the job done.
You know, I just wanted to mention this in case anybody didn't think about this. So they kind of did the same thing with Mortal Kombat. is that they kind of like they made Scorpion and they made Sub-Zero, right? And they had that same sort of uniform with the color. And then they came out with Smoke, and they came out with Reptile, and then they came out with the red one. I can't remember his name. But that's kind of, as you can see that they're all ninjas, and they just come up with different variations of ninjas in different colored costumes.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever think about that?
Yeah. Well, see, so it was a smart idea. Same reason why
which
we
is
added.
cool. I'm just saying, right? Like like that's kind of a cool thing to do. Is like once you have a good character, why not? They came out with the Green Ranger and everybody loved it, and they're like, what if we did a Gray Ranger? Like
Right. Well, in the long run, those additions work out very well. Primarily with what we see here with the toy lines is you want to have a product. You can make multiple things. You change the paint job on it. You sell more toys. On top of that, when it comes down to you have your individual IPs from the different characters, you want to be able to go, okay, this right here is the female character, this right here is the male character. Same reason why we have changed the when we went to the Ninja Turtles and we gave them different colored masks to differentiate themselves from each individual turtle.
That's exactly my point.
When Eastman and Laird did the Turtles, they all had the same color mask. They only showed certain colors in order to show a certain mood in the thing. But when making a storyline for children, particularly, children have to be able to identify something and go, okay, this character is the me character.
Yeah,
and it works too. Whether you're the you're an Asian girl, you're a white guy, a nerdy white guy, whatever, like all these things relate to you when you're growing up, and then you get those that's a really great formula, because then you get to introduce like the Phantom Ranger, where just when you thought it was Green Ranger's the best Ranger or whatever, then you're just like, boom, you hit him with a new one. Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Right on. And next we come to Fire in Your Tank, where Divatox sends her minions to try to steal the two legendary cars, but then they managed to get away with stealing the fuel they had for them, and had to build one of their own for her, so that she could fly in it, but it didn't have as much fuel in it for long. And a fire monster that was so eager to please her starts drinking one of them, and it was quite a burner, who started burning up the forest. And Bulk and Skull were two idiots who haven't been paying much attention to the smoke going on, because they were sitting on their asses eating, picking out, and listening to loud music and things. It's crazy. Yeah, that these two idiots that would take the job would go everywhere just to make spectacles of themselves with those. I mean, you kind of wonder, does Bulk need to lose more weight to think straight, and does Skull need a girlfriend to help guide him through things to do to help them fit in better?
To quote some of your favorite villains from cartoons, it's so hard to find good henchmen nowadays.
Definitely.
Join me again, He-Man.
So in this episode, also one of the humorous things about this is Divatox is trying to run a monster boot camp, and she's looking for new talent because Bulk and Skull are idiots, and she's tired of losing. Why do I have to keep on losing? So she has one of her new trainees, which is a character named Tiger Torch, who his character
Yeah, Tiger Torch.
He's a tiger, but you can see like the Japanese influence in the character.
Tiger Torch.
Yeah.
I can tell from the band down on his head and his face as well as these stripes. He does look like a tiger.
Tiger Torch, yeah. So he's one of the trainees in Divatox's boot camp, and he is your primary uh, henchman in this episode.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
So I'm always impressed, about, so how many times did you have to sit in a boardroom and think about what's our next villain going to look like? What's our next villain's powers going to be? Because, oh, we can't do that again because we've already done that. And so to have each one of these characters come in each one of these seasons of every single Power Rangers show, that's a lot of think tanking that you have to uh, write on a script board and be like, did we do this already? Because we have fans, they're going to call us out on this. And you see this tiger guy, that looks really unique. You've never seen that before in Power Rangers or any other show necessarily. Not that, you can do different things from every other show, but at least yourself. And for them to be able to come up with different powers, different levels, as corny as, Power Rangers is sometimes, you really got to give it up to the writing and the costuming, because they really come with it with whether how corny you think it is, with something new every time.
So Tiger Torch's character, this is one of those characters that was brought over from the Japanese series, and most of the scenes there are of from the Japanese series. So fight sequences and everything.
So
Now
even if we're talking about Super Sentai, though, even so, let's say they did it. So they did it. They're the ones that came up with everything. Whoever the heck they are, that boardroom, they had a lot of the good thinkers.
Well, also they took from a lot of the Japanese style artwork for this character. They Tiger Torch being a fire-breathing tiger strongman, who was designed after the Japanese tiger that you see in a lot of Japanese architecture. According to the wiki, Tiger Torch was not intended to be used for the American series, but they really liked it. They took him in. They made a alternate version of the character in order to have a sequence with him and a couple of sequences with him and Diva. And Divatox. So originally he was seen as just a distant. He was originally seen on a distant planet, hearing Divatox's speech before she went on her revenge mission to Earth. Is the pretty much his lore in this rendition of Power Rangers. He was initially seen in one of the background scenes of punching tires. They had him doing like cheesy little calisthenics things in the Divatox's boot camp for villains.
Yeah.
And somehow became one of Divatox's more ept of the villains, because Bulk and Skull were just morons.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. They sure were.
But yeah, I really like his character. I just thought like just the way they put him together,
Can we get a bigger?
Then we come to another episode called Spirit of the Woods, which features TJ and interacting with a nature boy who was kind of a ghost to everyone else but him. Yeah, he didn't want the nature boy didn't want his
I'm trying to remember
Irritan.
this episode. Okay.
Yeah, he was called Irritan, and he didn't like having his own forest being littered with garbage. But for
Yeah, TJ meets the mysterious boy named Irritan, who is determined to protect his forest. This episode uh, is an episode that sets out to teach children about littering. And at this point in time during the 90s, we were dealing with places that had, like Southern California, that was dealing with massive pollution issues. So they wanted to have an episode as part of the Message for Children campaign that they had back in Hollywood back in the early 90s and mid 90s. That kind of slowly went away once the 2000s came around, but they had these messages for children into things. You've seen them from the 80s on into the late 90s, but they wanted to have like special messages, and this message was all about pollution, and they wanted to educate children in a sense. There's a scene where they're talking about recycling pop bottles and cleaning up and whatnot.
Are you talking about the episode "Spirit of the Woods"?
Yeah.
Episode 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the garbage theme villain named he is Lord Litter.
Lord Litter, yeah, a weird-looking litter monster. Yeah, definitely a litter monster. Yeah, but then when the boy intervenes and overpowers him, Divatox wants him captured so in an attempt to steal his power for her own. But that didn't work out for her when the Rangers showed up to intervene.
It never does, my friend.
Right on. Yeah.
You know, there's something satisfying about just kind of knowing, that the Power Rangers are going to figure it out somehow, but you still don't care. You just want to see who the next villain is.
Yeah, that's true. There's also another one with TJ called the Curveball, where TJ meets a new classmate who was quite a pro at pitching. Yeah, and then at the same time he and his friends deal with a monster called Strikeout, who was a red-eyed freak who looks like a mushed up baseball. Yeah.
This was an episode that brought back the concept of TJ's desire to get into sports that was introduced at the beginning of his run on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. TJ's stumped by the new kid who has a nasty curveball and nobody on the team can hit it. Well, Detox's newest monster, named Strikeout, similarly has an unhittable toss when Health's egotistical showboating nearly gets himself killed. TJ takes the effort to save him. Health returns to the favor by showing TJ how to hit that curveball.
Is Strikeout the villain?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I was,
yeah.
I kind of figured that. No, what's the guys? No, I want to see. So you said he looked like a big scrunched up baseball. Can we see that? Can we see?
Yeah. So he looks like Mr. Met.
There we go. Okay.
He looks like Mr. Met if Mr. Met was deformed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Here he is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That is. He's got like a bald chin.
Yeah. He looks like he is a baseball that's been crunched up too much.
Yeah, like I said, he's like a deformed Mr. Met.
That is pretty freaky.
And like his whole thing is throwing things. Like that's like his villain's power.
Yep.
It's funny that they have pictures of Bozo the Clown when you looked him up. But yeah, he's a cheesy character, but this is a filler episode. But they want you to remind you. There's a few of these episodes where they want to remind you what each of these characters their goals in life were. And we saw the same kind of filler with the coat. We saw the filler with a few other of these characters through along the way, and we see like that the characters really have their own identities, and they try to remind you of that.
Yep, they sure do. Then we come to Carlos, who gets who gets bitten by a vampire monster and turned into one. Yeah, as soon as he got turned into one, he tried to bite Ashley. But
It's always the Green Ranger who turns out to end up having an evil arc for a minute.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They always do that with the Green Ranger. They did that with the original Green Ranger. They always give the Green Ranger a little bit of an evil arc sometimes.
They sure do. Yeah. Yeah, when they confronted Carlos, he could not see his own reflection. Nor could anyone see his reflection in the mirror. He was like a ghost.
I'm back. Nature called. Sorry, guys.
Hey, it's all right. So in this episode, also, not only does he have that like vampire thing, like which at this point in time there was a couple of vampire movies being put out. You knew they were trying to monopolize on what was going on at the time in media. But so the whole episode revolves around a scary film festival where Carlos is ambushed by Detox's latest monster, Count Nocturne. Well, the next day, Carlos starts to develop the attributes of a vampire, and the other Power Rangers quickly try to cure him and take down Nocturne. But meanwhile, Bulk and Skull, there, as usual, are determined to slay Carlos before his friends undo his vampire power.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind having like a warehouse of all these, cool foam, villains. Wouldn't that be cool? Just have just like a wall to wall like warehouse, and they already do have this. I couldn't imagine they would destroy these. What do you think there, KJ? They destroyed these? Or
no, I believe that a lot of these costumes are still there, considering they're most of the costumes that they used for these are owned by Japanese media. They do pretty good at keeping the costumes. There's actually a museum that when you go for Super Sentai that you can go to in Japan.
Okay, we're looking this up.
There's a Super Sentai museum that you can go to that has like a lot of stuff from there. And I know that there's a few movie house museums in the United States. So with Count Nocturne, if you look at the character, kind of it doesn't look like a vampire to me. It kind of looks like they kind of like made like some sort of feminized version of the Mothman.
Yeah.
Holy crap! You weren't kidding, man. They not only do they have a museum of the costumes, but there's a whole museum dedicated to itself just for like mannequins of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Just the Power Rangers alone. There's a whole museum, and there's somebody who owns 250 of the red ones. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that right there is Count Nocturne, and like I said, looks like a feminized version of the Mothman. If anybody remembers the Mothman prophecies, that's who it kind of reminds me of, kind
Yeah.
of like a feminized rock and roll version of the Mothman.
Then we come to parts and parcel where here TJ goes on a stakeout with Bulk and Skull to discover who's been robbing parts to electronics and stuff, and it turned out to be Divatox and her crew trying to create something to help with the Zords that she created.
I don't remember this episode.
Oh, I do. I just watched it a day or two ago before before tonight. Yeah, they were on the stakeout to to uncover who's behind the thefts, and it was definitely turns out to be the Piranatrons all along. Go ahead.
They had see, eventually, didn't they like Bulk and Skulk eventually like become like good guys, like kind of like for a minute? They,
Kind of,
like,
but
yeah.
I don't recall them being Rangers.
No, not Rangers, but kind of just like they're trying not to be bad. They had their trying not to be bad arc.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Trying
what
to,
always happens, you know. You got the doofuses that are always the bullies, and then they'll help out at the last minute. Like you get a big heart when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
they do a lot of the actors who play Bulk and Skulk. They do a lot of cons quite often. So
yeah, they sure do.
yeah, they're seen in a lot of cons.
And now we come to the two-part season finale, Chasing the Space, where the Rangers ended up losing their Zords, getting their Zords destroyed by a monster called Gold Goyle. Ended up destroying two of their Zords.
I thought it was a 3-part episode.
Oh no, it's actually a two-part episode. I
All
checked.
All right.
72 episodes, not 71.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah. So in this episode, the Turbo Rangers face their darkest hour yet once again. Justin is about to leave the team, and Demetria and the Blue Centurion are leaving for Elter.
Yep.
Detox launches her final attack and sends the monster Golden Goyle, who is about to destroy the Turbo and rescue Megazords.
Yeah, Gold Goyle.
Yeah. Gold Goyle.
Yeah, he came as a giant.
He
Came in as
he has that look of, like, if you look at those if you see when you see him, he has that look of these old fashioned like
Yeah,
what they
who's the tattoo?
kind of,
Oh,
yeah.
Yakuza tattoos, like with the devil.
Yakuza.
Yeah, kind of like that, and also kind of like he's kind of got that like evil samurai look,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Old Japanese Yakuza on the back tattoo.
Yeah. This guy's the big bad of the season.
Of the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. He managed to destroy two Zords in it, and all it took to bring him down was TJ using that blaster and at close range and making him swallow it so it could blow up right in his face.
He's described in the wiki as the most destructive monster in the whole universe.
Yeah.
And he was he was indeed one of the strongest monsters in the entire franchise due to his incredible firepower, his absurd durability, and was easily able to best the Turbo and Rescue Zords with absolutely no effort whatsoever. Which at that point were the strongest Megazord in the Power Rangers franchises to date.
Yeah, he was quite indestructible, and the only way they had to destroy him was to do it from within him by putting that cat in or shooting right at his mouth, and it blew it and it took him out thanks to TJ. But after
So
that,
he
yeah,
was more like a universal being. He was like something like dang it. Who is the Silver Surfer's boss?
Galactus type.
Galactus.
Yeah, he's more like a Galactus type character then.
To a certain degree, yeah. So after he destroys the strongest of the Megazords and the Rescue Zords, they flee to their Turbo Zords in the process to try to take over Gold Goyle. So I believe they have to use the Turbo Zords in this case, which are the original Zords.
Yeah. Yep. And after that, they returned to the chamber where Demetria left, and they gave Divatox the opportunity to launch the assault on their base. They succeeded on blowing it up entirely, but the Rangers were lucky to survive.
Yes, Rygog teleported them back to the power chamber, where they brought down the entirety of Detox's army within on it, leading to the destruction and the events of that start up for the next series, Power Rangers in Space.
Your mic's muted. Oh boy,
My mic was muted.
No, I can hear him, brother.
I probably wasn't
Hey,
speaking.
Lieutenant, can you hear us? Can you hear
yeah, I
both of
can
us?
hear you.
Okay.
All
Just
right.
making sure.
All right, that was weird. Okay, so what I was saying was, in order to defeat him after they used the Zord to self-destruct, they teleported back to their base, and by Rygog, who teleported them back to the base and the power chamber, so that way they could shut down Detox's army entirely, leading to its destruction. And this introduces the events that lead up to Power Rangers in Space. Power Rangers in Space.
Yep.
Which I believe is the next iteration of the Power Rangers.
Yeah. Season 6, of course.
And a new potential lead into some new characters and new Rangers, I think.
Yeah.
Somehow I feel like I've become more into Power Rangers today than I've been since I'm a kid. I kind of actually want to get into it more now. You know, I've watched all the things, but now I'm like, you know, going through all the lore and all the cool costumes, I'm like, man, you know, I'm more of a fan than I thought I was.
See, I always tell people, like, if you're going to get into Power Rangers, watch the Power Rangers first, because if you watch Super Sentai, you'll kind of be disillusioned by the Power Rangers. So watch the Power Rangers first, and then watch the Super Sentai equivalent of each season as things go along, because Super Sentai does hit differently than the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ever did. So
yeah, I totally agree. I did the same thing that he's just recommending. Cowboy said, you know, watch Power Rangers first and then Super Sentai. I did the same thing, and you can really appreciate Super Sentai after you watch the Power Rangers, but I couldn't imagine going the other direction. Watch Power Rangers first.
See, if you watch Super Sentai first, then you just won't like the Power Rangers. That's like, there's a nostalgia value to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where Super Sentai, it is, while it's the same, it's different. Considering the source material and where Saban was going with it, and where the original source material came from. Like, Saban was like stealing from just about every genre you can possibly think of, but using existing footage and existing characters from Super Sentai to make it happen. And
Well, either way, you're gonna love Super Sentai. You know, like we have to give props back to Super Sentai. They're the ones that started the shit. You know,
Yeah.
and so like they get mad love in my book. And Power Rangers too. There's an American version, there's an Asian version. You'll like them both, but if you'll really get a good watch if you do Power Rangers first.
so what's the lead into this clip you got for us?
Oh, I'm not going to play the clip, but it
Oh.
shows us the Rangers going with their new Alpha into space, which not to well, where they're going to go to Demetra's homeworld to try to help Zordon out, as well as even though they're going to end up leaving the Earth defenseless. Yeah, until then, well, we'll be sure to explore more once we get into Power Rangers in space. But thanks again for coming on, you two. It's a shame that
It was absolutely fun. Thank you for having us.
it's a shame Theta couldn't come and join us tonight. He must have either been tired or got sidetracked. But hey, thanks again, Cowboy Dan and
Head case.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, we appreciate being here. I had a lot of fun, and it brought back a lot of memories. I'll tell you what, the nostalgia trip right there. It's been a while since I thought about a lot of this Power Ranger stuff from the '90s, and I actually like these versions of the Power Rangers better than when they tried to reboot them in the movies and tried to do these new movie versions that they're coming out with. And it does bring back a lot of memory. And I'd like to see more people cosplaying as the side characters, or try to do some of these versions of the cosplays. If you're going to cosplay, try to do some of the lesser known characters. We really don't just forget sometimes. We just need to remember that there are more than just the five Rangers, and there's
a
more to the
range
show.
of Rangers.
Let's see some of the secondary characters. Let's see what you can put out there with your cosplay.
Yeah, I say thank you so much, Lieutenant, and of course KJ. This was a fun stream. It brought back a lot of memories, like you said, and this is really fun. I would be down to come back and let's look up Power Rangers in space.
Yep, and we'll see, and I'll be looking to see if we can get Theta on for this one. Take care, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.